Hi there, welcome to kneppyinvests. A2 Milk have just released their fourth downgrade in 8 months. They do say downgrades comes in threes. Well, A2 Milk have gone that extra length and have announced their fourth downgrade. So great work, A2 Milk management. You're doing great things. I applaud you for your performance. I bought A2 Milk in about 4 or 5 years ago at $2, and I did see the share price rise all the way up to $20 in July 2020. When you make that sort of profit in a company, you actually do become hesitant to sell out because there is a significant capital gains tax you do have to pay if you decide to sell. So you do become hesitant. And in this situation, I did receive a sell signal with A2 Milk in August of last year. I decided to ignore that sell signal and then the next sell signal in September, and then the next sell signal simply because of the capital gains tax issue. I would have had to pay a capital gains tax of over $10,000, so well into the 5 figures. And I just thought, well, things could turn around and I won't have to pay that capital gains if I just maintain a holding in this company. So that was a significant mistake on my part. I didn't act on a sell signal I received, and we've had 4 downgrades since then. This is a fairly significant thing to have 4 downgrades. It actually tells me that the management of this company have no idea what they are doing. If they have to issue 4 downgrades in 8 months, it tells you a lot. Now, there is a new CEO who has just come into that position, and I think the new CEO has shown what worth he has been with this most latest downgrade. The biggest issue I have had with the A2 Milk management over the past few downgrades have been the assumptions they have made about the improvement in the company's performance. And we'll get into that in a few slides. That was my biggest problem because when you make assumptions, you can be wrong. And A2 Milk management have been wrong over and over again when they've made these assumptions. No longer are there any assumptions in the downgrades. And I think that's the influence of the new CEO. A completely different sort of downgrade this was compared to the previous ones. And we'll get into that in a second or so. So in this video, what I'm going to do is just go through a few slides from my most recent A2 Milk video, which was actually early April. In fact, if I just listened to myself in early April, I could have sold out at a higher share price than it is now. And also look at this downgrade, talk about the thing I did not like about it, and then we'll look at the charts. And one of the most ugliest charts you can see on the ASX. So let's get stuck into looking at a few slides from the video I did in early April. One of the main conclusions I came to in that A2 Milk video I did in early April was that the market was expecting another downgrade. And that downgrade came 1 month after I came to that conclusion. If only I listened to myself and sold of A2 Milk at that point in time, because the share price has dropped a fair bit since then. So why did I think the market had came to this expectation that there was going to be another downgrade? When A2 Milk released their half-year results in February, they made some assumptions, and their guidance was based off these assumptions coming to fruition. And I thought, and I think the market also thought this, those assumptions were quite fanciful, and there was a big chance they were not going to come to fruition. And that's exactly what happened. So I'll talk about those assumptions in the next slide. I hate when management make assumptions. I don't believe they should make assumptions. In fact, I believe when they give guidance, they should think of the worst case scenario and work around that when they come to their guidance in the end. And A2 Milk management haven't done that through the last 8 months. I do think they believe things will just turn around naturally. They won't have to work at it. They won't have to put into some sort of strategies to turn things around. They just things will just change naturally, and they haven't. There have been some serious issues with A2 Milk's strategy, and they've had to change their strategy. They've even announced in this most recent May downgrade that their strategies have to change, and I believe that's the influence of the new CEO. Now, in the last video, I said all directors should resign if there was another downgrade. In a way, I still believe that, but I do think the new CEO should stay around. All the other directors should resign. We did see one, I think the CEO of Asia division has resigned, but I think all other directors should resign because I think they're just getting their pay packet. They're thinking everything will go back to the way it was and that's it. They won't have to work at it. They won't have to put new strategies. They won't have to think about turning this business around. And that has led to the downfall of A2 Milk during the past 8 months. This is the type of thing that has really pissed me off about A2 Milk management over the past 8 months. The amount of assumptions they have made. And they did it again in their February half-year results. So when I'm talking about the new CEO came into his role during this period of time. So everything before this has been the old management team. So I think the new CEO is showing his value, showing his influence in the most recent downgrade. So they made an assumption, and this assumption was in a half yearly. The outlook for financial year 21 assumes the actions being taken to reactivate Daigou and reseller channel deliver a significant improvement in quarter-on-quarter growth from third quarter 21 to fourth quarter 21. You can just tell from what I wrote just below that, that I was not happy with this, this assumption. I was not happy that this was something they had did in previous months. They had made assumptions, and those assumptions did not come to fruition, and they did it again in the half yearly. I should have just saw this assumption and sold out straight away. That should have been the decision I made to sell out of this company because they were falling into the same trap over and over again. And at this point in time, I was just thinking, well, the new CEO is coming on board and he will change things around. And it looks like he might be changing things around at this point in time. But I think there are serious, significant issues with A2 Milk moving forward. And I think with those serious issues, there's going to be a lot of pain in the next year or so before they might turn things around. The May 2021 downgrade was a fairly lengthy announcement. So I'm not going to go through the whole downgrade because there's a lot in it to digest. And the good thing about the downgrade was I do think the new CEO is showing his influence. So that's the one positive you can take away from the downgrade is the new influence from the CEO. But the amount of negatives in the downgrade are so substantial that more than likely I will sell out my shares of this company because I do think they have significant issues they have to go through or work through over the next year. And there is potential those issues they won't be able to solve. So this is their reply to the assumptions they made in February about the significant improvement in A2 Milk's performance in the current quarter. It is emerging that actions to address the challenges have not resulted in sufficient improvement in pricing, sales, and inventory levels in the Daigou reseller and CBEC channels required to deliver the forecast significant uplift in fourth quarter 21 sales. In other words, the assumptions they made in the half yearly were wrong. And this is not the first time the assumptions this company managements have made have been wrong. And that's why we've had 4 downgrades in 8 months. Last thing I want to show you is the chart from, well, it's the 1-year chart. So from May 2020 to current. And we did see the share price reach a high of $20 on the 7th and 8th of July. So at that point in time, I was a very happy shareholder, and we did see the share price really struggle to get above $20. In fact, it hit $20 about 4 or 5 times during June, July, towards the start of August. Not quite in the start of August. But when they released the half-yearly results in August, the share price did fall towards $18. And that was the first sign of trouble in the company. And then just after that, some of the directors decided to sell quite a bit of their shares. And that was the second sign. In fact, that was a sell signal. We saw the share price actually go below the moving averages. So we had quite a few sell signals. We had a a financial report that the market didn't like, and that is a fairly powerful sell signal. We had directors sell out shortly after that. We also had the share price move below the moving averages, which was the beginning of a new downtrend potentially. So if I just listened to all those signals I received, I would have sold out of A2 milk in late August at around $18.50. And from then on, we've seen the share price of A2 milk being in a well-defined downtrend, and they've had 4 downgrades since then. Downgrade 1 was in late September. Share price fell 11% on that day. Downgrade 2 was in middle of December. Share price fell 24% on that day. Third downgrade was during the half-yearly results when share price fell 16%, and that downgrade was based off margins, but they were more optimistic about fourth quarter performance, significantly improving, again, assumptions. And then the fourth downgrade was on May 10th with the share price falling 13%. So the share price has fallen from $20 in July of 2020 to a current share price of $6. Now the question is, when will I sell out? The last 2 times they've had downgrades, the share price actually did bounce. A bit of a dead cat bounce there, but a nice bounce to sell out if you wanted to sell out your shares. But it doesn't mean that there will be a bit of a bounce. We saw the first downgrade, the share price fell on 4 consecutive days. So we might see the share price falling here. So some might say, if you want to sell out shares, just sell out. You shouldn't care about the share price. So we'll take that on board. I do think I'll have a little bit of time. The share price will fall today on May the 11th. Pretty sure they will, just because there's overall negative sentiment in the market. And when you have a company with significant negative sentiment and overall negative sentiment in the market, I think the share price will fall a little bit today, but we might see a bit of a bounce the next few days. So I'll just remain a little bit patient about when I'm going to sell, but I definitely will sell out of my A2 milk shares. There's a couple of reasons why I will sell out. The first reason is it's in a well-defined downtrend. So I've shifted my strategy where I will not hold companies that are in a well-defined downtrend like A2 milk. And if I get a sell signal of any companies I hold, I will sell, because those sell signals have come to fruition, not only in this company, but many other companies I've owned and decided to sell because of those sell signals. Altium, Appen, both received sell signals in those, and those share prices have come off a lot. And I've also received other sell signals in other companies. And I did a video about villains of reporting season in February. And I revisited that video. You can look at that video. I might even leave a link in the description of this. And in every single case of those 5 companies, the share price have decreased further from the bad, and the market perceived those reports in February as bad since those companies reported in February. And that shows you how powerful those sell signals based off financial reports are. And we had that with A2 milk in August of 2020, which was the first sell signal in this company. That is all I've got for this video on A2 milk's 4th downgrade in 8 months. If you're a shareholder of this company and you're thinking of selling out, or you're thinking of remaining a shareholder for the foreseeable future, I'd love to hear your reasons why. So leave a comment in the comment section. I'll answer anything you have to say in the next few days. Maybe you just bought into the company because it's good value, or you just sold out because the 4th downgrade in 8 months. I'd love to hear your opinion why you did either thing. Or maybe you have no intention of buying into this company at all. I still would love to hear your opinion on A2 milk, because every opinion out there is of value. So leave a comment, leave a question in the comment section. I'll answer anything you have to say in the next 3 or 4 days. The last thing I'll have to say is I am going to be selling out more than likely of A2 milk in the next few days. And there are 2 main reasons I will be selling out. The first reason is I don't really trust management anymore. 4 downgrades in 8 months is a good reason. They kept making assumptions, and those assumptions didn't play out. That's another good reason. And even though I do like the new CEO, I think he does have promise, I think this company has structural issues right now. And when a company has structural issues, there is potential that they may not get through those issues in the short to medium term. It may take a fair long time to move through those issues. So that's one of the reasons. But really the main reason I've decided to sell out of A2 milk is because I've shifted or changed my investing strategy from a buy and hold philosophy to a momentum and sentiment philosophy. That shift has happened over 5 years, but has really accelerated over the past 8 months, ever since I received that sell signal with A2 milk and I completely ignored it. And that's one of the main reasons this shift in strategy has really accelerated, because of A2 milk. Last thing I really have to say is I'm not a financial advisor, so if you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.